I was like, the anticipation.
We're live.
What's going on?
What's up, man? I feel like, even though I did just see you yesterday,
Yeah.
I feel like so much has happened between then and now. It just feels like it's been a long time. So how's it
I
going,
know.
man?
It's going good. How about you, man? It does.
Hey, Tucker, how's it hanging?
Say hello to your mother
Say
for
hello
me.
to your mother for me.
Yeah, it seems like we see each other quite a bit, but every time we see each other, it'd be like, you're never gonna believe what happened.
Right? I don't know.
You're never gonna guess.
I'm going to bring up the live feed on my cell phone instead of on my
That's so
instead of
2010.
on my tablet or my laptop. Like a
told you.
Like a Philistine.
They're gonna say like a Phyllis Diller. I don't know why I've thought
I
that.
don't even know
It's an
how to
actress.
do something like a Phyllis. I know that it's
Okay.
an actress. I just don't know
Alright.
how to do something like a Phyllis Diller.
I gotcha.
So,
In a non-related thing, just of old actresses,
yeah.
I
All
watched a video today of some Golden Girls.
right. Okay.
Like it was like a little clip on, online or whatever. I got
Alright.
in. I got in, man.
You were-
like
you were
That
there.
was ahead of its time.
Okay.
It was pretty.
I mean, it's a
All
pretty
right.
solid show.
Don't judge
No,
me
no, no,
right
no,
now
no.
over Golden
Listen,
Girls.
I am
I'll
not-
walk. I'll
I'm-
walk out right now.
I'm not throwing shade at the Golden Girls. Okay? I am not. No, yesterday was a
You're
was
such a
stressful
Blanche.
day.
What's that?
I think I did take one of those stupid BuzzFeed quizzes one time. It was like, because they used to have those all the like, which hamburger are you? Which Golden Girl are you?
Right.
I think I am a Blanche, actually.
I-
when it comes down to it.
Yes,
No, but yeah.
yeah.
Yesterday was a day. It's a
Yes.
well-known fact that I love Mondays. And I really do.
Yes.
But yesterday was, sometimes the universe tries to like test you.
To throw a wrench in the
like,
chain, so
you
to speak.
say you love Mondays. Hold
Game
my
on.
beer.
Game on.
And so it got a little stressful. I was having some routine maintenance done on the Beardmobile, getting some
Okay.
new tires, an oil change, alignment, blah blah blah.
Right.
And two of the tires that I purchased just were giving me struggles,
Okay.
and so I had to go back and have them rebalanced a couple of different times. Turns out they were misshapen, so we got to order new ones. They had to put
They were like square.
not quite, but almost. Like the first time I started driving down the road, anything under like 15 miles an hour was fantastic.
Okay.
But I hit 45 and it was shaking like a leaf.
Got
It
some
was-
speed wobbles.
It was like I could not control the vehicle
Okay.
above 45 miles per hour. It was pretty rough. So it was just it was a trying day
I gotcha.
and a long one at that.
I was like,
I did a lot of work from the waiting room at
I was gonna
at
say
a
I
tire shop.
I talked to you, I think a couple times during
Yeah.
that thing because you're like, I'm still here.
I'm just here.
I'm still here.
I
I'm
got
like,
a lot of work done.
yeah. I was like, hey,
People were looking at me like, "Who is this Joker?" Like, but
who's this guy?
I'm just sitting there trying to
Working.
do business.
You know, this is where all the cool kids hang
Yeah.
out.
Everyone does their business from a tire shop, and I don't want to say the name of the tire shop because I don't want people to think that it was their fault.
Right.
That I was having some struggles yesterday.
And because
it
I
really
know-
was not their fault.
Yeah, because I know, because I talked to you, I'm almost
Yeah.
made.
I've
a
had
reference,
good
but-
experiences with this business before, and again,
Yeah,
I'm
I haven't
not,
had any bad.
not trying to throw them under the bus. It's definitely not their fault, and it's definitely not the fault of the place that I got the tires from. So I'm not mentioning businesses for that.
Sometimes
reason.
things just take a little bit longer.
Things just don't work out like you want them to.
Parents just don't understand.
Parents don't. No, it was like, and it was almost a year ago, I think. I was leaving my house for work in the morning. I had a busy day ahead of me. I had to.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
So, in case you don't know,
Yeah.
we're real estate agents.
Yes. What?
And so I was going out. I had to show several houses that day to some clients who were coming into town from other places. And I went out and you remember that little Mazda I used to drive before I got the beer?
I remember it well.
So I walk out and the tire's flat.
Okay.
Not a 100% great way to start your day.
Especially a day like that.
When you've got
that's a
stuff to
full
do.
blown day.
But as fortune would have it, I had recently purchased an older Jeep Grand Cherokee that I was going to use kind of as a project vehicle. I was going to try and turn it into something pretty sweet.
How'd that turn out?
We'll get
Is
there.
it too soon?
It's not the Beardmobile.
Is it too soon?
In case you haven't noticed,
Yeah.
I don't drive it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even own it anymore because once it did what it did to me, it had to be taken care of.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So my Mazda was parked right behind my Jeep. So I just kind of gently limped the Mazda out of the way because I still got work to do.
Right.
So I was like, well, the Jeep isn't pretty, but doesn't have a flat tire, so I'm going to drive it today.
It'll get the job done.
And so I'm pulling out of my driveway. I pull up level with my car, and I'm like, oh, crap, I forgot my car charger. So I throw it into park, or so I thought, and hop out of the Jeep to grab my car charger. And it's that point that I realized that it is not fully engaged in the park gear. And it popped back into the reverse gear. In case you haven't noticed, I'm not exactly a small man. Which means that sometimes I'm not as nimble as I would like to be. So the vehicle begins to roll backwards, and I do my best to try and catch it.
Okay.
Because I don't want it to be, in my neighbor's living room.
Right.
I'm a good neighbor.
You're a nice guy.
Yeah. So, and I literally, I just put my other foot on the ground, when I realized this, and I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
This is not a good situation.
Not going to end well.
Full disclosure, not the word I used.
Yes. I was going to say, knowing
It was an
I'm
emergency.
sure. Yeah.
It was an emergency.
Yeah.
So I'm scrambling, trying to pull myself back into this Jeep that is moving in reverse. And I get my hand on the steering wheel, which has a steering wheel cover on it. And the steering wheel cover peels off in my hand, and I fell backward onto the pavement and ran myself over with my own car.
It's not funny, but it's
Oh, listen.
You can laugh about it now.
Here's the thing. It's funny to everyone that isn't the person getting run over by their own
Right. And at the
vehicle.
time, I'm sure it was not funny at all because you just ran
No,
yourself
I
over.
ran
with the
myself
car.
over with my car. I had trouble walking for like a week.
Right. And then you got to tell that story.
Yeah.
Like, listen, anytime you have like an injury like that, broken arm, broken leg or something,
I broke nothing.
20
sir. Nothing.
there was injuries.
Man.
But I'm just saying, cause injury to yourself in a noticeable
Oh,
thing.
yeah. Listen, I wish there was video of this.
You were going to have to answer that question 100 times a day
Oh, yeah.
of what happened.
Well,
See,
then
me, I have the weird sense of humor that I'm just going to start making up stories.
right.
So I was hang gliding.
Hang gliding one day. No, I drove myself to the hospital against my wife's urgings. She's like, "Are you sure? You should probably
Not.
not." I was like, "No. These people are here from out of town.
She's like-
they want to see houses. If I'm not bleeding internally or have something broken,
I'm going to show some
these
houses.
people are going to see some houses
Right.
today.
I'm going to limp in there.
Yeah, we can make it
And
happen.
you know what? They're going to know I
I'm going to be on
care.
crutches, but I'm going to make it happen."
They're going to know I care.
So I drove myself to the hospital, got some tests done, and finished today strong. Sold him a house, so
Done.
it was a solid day.
Done.
Very eventful.
That is very eventful. That is.
But
It's a good ending to the story, though.
yeah, I mean, I was literally living on a prayer at that point. And I was just like,
Living on a prayer.
I thought maybe I had broken because it ran over my leg and my hip bone, and I was like, oh, frick.
Yeah.
I
just
broke a
happened.
hip.
Yeah.
This is not
So-
going to be a great thing to do.
Yes. So you just said something that I'm going to have to go into for a little bit, which was
Okay.
making a Bon Jovi reference.
All right.
So no, real quick story. I had something really, really funny. My wife and I took my kids to our kids. They're ours. She had something to do with it.
you share them.
Anyways, it's my go-to. No, we took them to the park the other day, and there's like these teenager kids that are, hanging out under the Ramada. Like
Teenagers,
millennials. No,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still technically millennials or what are they? What they are?
I don't think
know.
they are, but I think we are.
I'm
According to
barely-
some, I'm like I just
I'm on the-
squeak in on that millennial
I'm-
generation line.
I'm living on the edge.
So part of me
don't know.
likes to embrace it.
Yeah.
So I can be like,
As an excuse.
no, not at all. Actually, it's one of my favorite things to say to some of our more seasoned citizens when they start complaining about millennials. I like to remind them that they raised them.
Yeah.
And it shuts them up really quick.
No,
like,
but
stinking millennials would be like, well, it's your fault. You made us this way, apparently. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then I also like to remind them that as a millennial, and you also
Right,
as a millennial, are successful business owners, and
take that.
we're not all just lazy people who like avocado toast and want free healthcare.
Well said. I can't even add to that. That's exactly, and complain about
But-
everything. But
Avocado toast is dope.
but I'm a picky eater like that. No, but
Back to the Bon Jovi reference.
Right, no,
that
I know,
that
and I was
made
like-
inadvertently.
no. We'd talk about avocados, but there was like kids like skateboarding and being, it was kind of reminiscent of
Yeah.
we were there
Kind of
once.
stuff that we did when we
Right.
were young whippersnappers.
So there's 4 or 5, and they're hanging out underneath the Ramada and talking to each other, but they're listening to some music, right?
All right.
But I found myself very dumbfounded as evidently they found Bon Jovi's greatest hits and were blaring
They were
Bon Jovi.
skateboarding to Bon Jovi's greatest hits.
like young teenagers going,
See?
what?
See?
Like, I was sitting there like at a point where I'm like, I need to stop looking at these children, because that's weird. But just
is.
right, you got to
Yes.
watch, you got to watch that that threshold,
Yeah, you can't just sit there and stare at kids in the park. It's frowned upon.
Yeah, it's not good. But it was just one of those shocking things of like, these kids aren't, listening to music from nowadays. They're
I'll tell you
listening
what.
to,
When I used
Bon
to
Jovi.
skateboard when I was a teenager, we were not listening to Bon Jovi,
Right.
and Bon Jovi was more recent and relevant
Right.
then than
when I
than
think of
he
my
is now.
skateboarding days, I don't go, man, me and my friends were just hanging out listening to Bon Jovi.
No,
I like Bon Jovi. Don't get me wrong. But it's not,
if the mood is right, yeah, I will throw on some Bon Jovi and I'll be happy about it.
but anyway, it was just one of those very like, it kind of shuts down your brain for a couple of seconds. Like, is this happening? Not just one Bon Jovi song.
It was
Like
the greatest hits.
Multiple.
Now,
Greatest
can I
hits.
ask, like, did they have like a boombox? Like, what?
No, I mean,
They
they
were
were
like
millennial.
Spotifying
Yeah.
to a Bluetooth stereo Bon Jovi's greatest hits.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh crap, all of our phones are dead and our Bluetooth
All we have is this
and our
cassette
Bluetooth and we found a boombox
with a cassette
with a
tape.
cassette tape that's stuck in it, and the only function that works is Bon Jovi's greatest hits.
There
on
wasn't like a
repeat.
kid over there
They were
going,
doing this on purpose by choice.
yeah, from the phone.
Hey.
And somebody was in charge of it. But
You
it's
know
like
what?
some kid wasn't over there putting the needle on the record player. Like, it was full blown phone.
Props to you millennials that were skateboarding that day.
I was
that you
impressed.
witnessed.
I was
Well,
confused.
and I mean,
I had a lot of emotions going on about it.
it is. It's probably. I mean, I like old music.
Yeah.
And I have always.
Right.
So I used to skate to stuff that probably. I mean, I listened to a lot of punk rock, but it wasn't all that.
Yeah. As did I, but I
For
wasn't
sure.
sitting there being like, dude, put on the greatest hits, Bon Jovi.
No, but
Do
I was listening to Led Zeppelin back then.
Right.
So
But yeah.
I,
no, Bon
I
Jovi-
feel him, and I appreciate. Thanks.
Yeah.
Give me a little bit of extra hope.
Yeah. It was just like, hey, you know what?
Yeah,
I was
and-
impressed. I was confused. I was
and
perplexed.
I've been
But-
frustrated. You know, it's like it's rare that I'm impressed by humanity these days.
Agreed. I'm given
You know,
multiple reasons.
sometimes I
It's
get
not me.
we go to movies a lot,
We do.
and I am appalled at
they're
the
waiting for
behavior of people
Yeah.
in the movie theaters.
You have no idea.
Sometimes, because I mean, I've gotten to a point where I am no longer a silent sufferer in the movie theater. I'm that guy who will turn around in my seat and be like, "Hey, why don't you shut your trap?"
Yes, I had, as you know, because I vented to you a couple times. I had quite the ordeal the other day. I took my kids, this was super awesome, by the way. Took them to Elks Theater here in town.
All right.
They have their old, when I say old, it's what my kids said, old movie nights, which, and they do it donation.
Classics.
Classics. Yeah, we'll use the word classics.
Yeah.
But
Sounds better.
yeah, it makes me feel better.
Makes me feel better about it.
But they do donations.
Okay.
So there's not like certain price for tickets. You go there and you
Yeah, you do what
pay a
you
donation to keep the theater going. But they played The Goonies, which is
do. One of the greatest movies of all time.
if I was to make a list of like the top 10 movies that made me, just had the most influence on me as a kid.
All right.
That whatever. It would definitely be in the top 10, if not in the top 5. Love the Goonies. But my son had seen the Goonies before because we own it. But my daughters hadn't seen it yet. Or I think I had tried to put it on for them before, but they had other stuff at home to keep them going. So they hadn't sat down and actually watched it. So I was like, let's go to the movie theater and watch some Goonies.
It's so easy to get distracted when you're watching a movie at home these days.
Oh, 100%. I even do.
I mean, not trying to virtue signal here, but I do resist the urge. Like, I turn off my smartwatch. I resist the urge to check my phone while I'm at a movie theater. But I'll tell you what, man, at home,
Oh, it's really hard, and
I could be thoroughly enjoying the movie, and it feels like everything is more important than the movie that's on the screen.
right. It's movies or especially bad at like TV. If I'm ever doing something and the commercial hits,
Oh, the second
phone's in my hand.
And what's crazy?
And I don't know why.
What's crazy is the commercial hits, and so you're like, oh, well, what's new? But then you don't just put it away when the commercial's over.
no,
Am I right?
No, I just keep
Yeah,
going because
everyone does.
into something that takes me about
We
30,
can be
30
better.
seconds.
We can be better.
No, I try. But it's a daily struggle.
Yeah.
But I took them to go see the Goonies. I was super excited about it. They were excited about it.
Yeah.
Get up and they have the balcony up there to make it, and it's like,
Oh,
complete-
I love the Elks Theater.
and it's like
fantastic.
a complete,
Yeah.
Ford Abraham Lincoln that may have gotten referenced multiple times
Fair enough.
because it's me.
Yeah.
But it was, really cool theater watching the Goonies. Lights go out. Starting to watch the movie. We're about 10 minutes into the movie. And in comes this couple. That they're not being like quiet. They go to some other seats first, and then they're like, that's not good enough. And they stumble. That's my segue into it. Over into the seats right in front of my son and I. It was my son, me, and my daughters. Just plop down and just start being obnoxiously drunk, watching the Goonies, getting, nuzzling together, drunkenly, but, just not loud. They were being loud, but not being subtle at all. Just, being really obnoxious. And I let it go for a little bit, and I just finally like, all right, I became that guy.
Did you get the feeling that all dads get when somebody touches the thermostat?
I went there.
Just that instant, like,
I went in dad mode.
Yeah.
I became my dad at a certain point where, as a kid, we're in public places like Disneyland, and he's telling people to knock it off.
Yeah.
It just,
whippersnappers.
and so I,
respect.
nicely just lean forward and it's like, hey, we can't see or hear the movie. It's not so much. I mean, I've seen the Goonies before, It was obnoxious because
principle
it's
of
the
the thing.
Goonies. But my
It's the
kids,
principle of the thing.
it was ruining my kids' experience.
Yeah.
So I nicely just like, hey, sorry, we can't hear or see, and I lit the fuse by doing that, and the girl turns around and starts cussing and giving me what for and everything like that.
What for, you say?
What for? And I really had to keep it in dad mode and not go to the places that I wanted.
Go
'Cause
full-
I could go
full savage.
I can
Yeah.
go dark.
You want to go, like, you feel like you want to go Dexter on somebody at that point, but then you realize that that's just television and you'll go to jail forever.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got that very stern dad thing, and I was like leaning forward, and I told her, I was like, you need to turn around right now and shut up. Just whatever. And she kept on
Doing
mouthing off.
this,
Yeah. This is what I need you to do.
I need you to do.
So we ended up moving down into another part of the area because she kept on turning around and staring at me and the kids and mouthing off and cussing and everything. And, before I punched her in the Adam's apple, I needed to
Punched her in the eye. I see what
see
you
what
say.
I did
I see
there.
what you did. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, before I went really dark and
Before you went Red Ross on her.
and I would have pulled some things out that would have made both them and probably my kids jaw drop and
Like,
tears flowing. And
it's one of those things that it's as a husband and father, a protector, so to speak.
Yes.
You're kind of glad that it's there somewhere inside of you.
yeah, but
That you're
I was
also
pulling the
glad.
reins.
Yeah, but
I
you're
was-
also very grateful, and so is everyone else, that you can keep it under control.
yeah, my kid actually said something to me afterwards that he was impressed that I was able to keep it together and restrain myself in order to not. Evidently, my son knows me well enough too that he's just like,
dude, that dude
like-
almost got thumped.
he was like, that almost ended badly.
Nice. Well, I'm sorry that
yeah.
you had a
But no,
terrible
we ended up moving
movie
to,
going experience, or it wasn't entirely terrible.
No,
but
it was
struggled
99% of
a
it was awesome. It was just the one, and they were super nice. Because my daughter started crying, she got really upset and worked up by it. And before we moved down to the lower part, I kept on being like, "It's our time down here." Goonies reference. It's their time up there.
Hey, we
Our time.
we
But
watched a movie this week.
we did.
That's why.
Segue. I know. I was waiting for.
Like,
I was like, did anybody comment and be like, "What are these guys doing?"
No, not yet.
Listen, we had to make some
Well, this is
Netflix and
man. We need to reverse a little bit. We just kind
was
of
like-
jumped in, but this is a very special Netflix and chill edition.
I know.
Where Tucker and the Beard talk about a new Netflix original movie. The last one we went and we watched Bird Box. We had very wildly different opinions on that one. This one, I think we're gonna come to the same conclusion, but maybe for different reasons.
Yeah, I think we got our input in it, and maybe in our overall vote we might be a little bit different, but
I don't think we will be. But
we'll be close. We'll be
let's
close. So
let's jump right into it.
our movie
Triple
review,
Frontier.
Triple Frontier, the new Netflix original movie with some big A-list stars.
Huge cast. Could have been a contender.
Top of the thing, Ben Affleck,
Yeah.
and then why am I going blank on his name?
Charlie
Hunnam.
of Sons of Anarchy fame.
Yes. And then I'm totally drawing a blank on the other.
Yeah, that's how much of an impression. it
No,
left
the
on
other
me.
guy. Like,
here,
I'm really no.
here. I've
I'll
got the
do it.
live stream up. Why don't you pull up some
I'm
IMDb
doing
and
it.
let me
Keep
break
going
down
on
the
it.
plot for you guys a little bit. We've got a bunch of ex-military gentlemen who, they get the word that there might be some money to be had if they.
They're all down on their luck. Kinda.
They're all struggling.
Oscar Isaac.
Ben Affleck is apparently not that great real estate agent trying to sell condos.
Which segue.
Can we talk about
Yeah,
where they're finding condos for $120,000?
Well,
Not here.
Yeah. So yeah, they're all ex-military, and so he's decided to see the light and realize real estate's might be his jam.
It's not.
It is not. He was not a good salesman.
First of all,
irritated at the people looking at
you
the
notice
house,
he took
the sign.
Did you notice he took the sign with him?
Yeah, he left and he's like, taking the
The
for
stuff
sale
no
sign.
one-
He's like,
you
I
should
can't,
probably leave that
I
out in
can't,
the yard.
I can't sell anything. So, like, you might want to leave the sign out there. That might be your first.
Might be a way to sell
Might
a
be
few
your
more
first
condos.
issue. But yeah, it was Charlie Hunnam, Ben Affleck, Garrett Hedlund, and Oscar Isaac, and Pedro Pascal. He was the other one.
Yeah.
Right.
So they decide they're gonna rob a drug cartel.
Yeah, when Oscar Isaac's character is working in South America,
Yeah.
and gets wind of this Bolivia, cartel leader that has millions and millions of dollars in this location that he finds out about, and he has some kind of deal that they get to keep.
Well, he's arranged.
It starts out that
yeah,
way.
It starts out that he arranges a way that they get to keep what they seize, or a percentage of what
It's
they
like
seize.
25% of what they seize.
And then just as things do,
yeah,
when
things
people
progress.
and greed get involved, the plan changes.
Yeah, we're gonna spoil some things right now, so because it's hard not to. And yeah, listen, it's on Netflix,
and frankly,
you're not losing any money by watching this or not.
If we spoil the entire movie for you, we're saving you
Yeah, we'll try and make it sound
an
as
hour.
good as possible.
Dude, it was a solid 2 hour and 4 minute movie, and it wasn't worth the time. I'll just be honest with you. It wasn't worth my time.
I'm not gonna take
I
it.
would have been better served watching 2.5 episodes of The Umbrella Academy,
Yes.
which was phenomenal.
which I still haven't seen yet. We'll get
Watch
on that.
it.
Yes.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, it started out big. Like it started out with
It
like
could have been great.
firefight. This whole thing started out really good, and I was in. In all honesty, I was sitting there telling you about it. Like I was excited for this movie to come
I
out.
wanted it to be great.
Like I saw the trailer, I was like, "This is gonna be awesome." They're gonna go steal some cartel money.
Well, you know how I feel about streaming platforms in general. Like, I want them to be. They're starting to create some content is fantastic.
Yeah, we talked about with Bird Box that it's like this is starting to be a game changer.
Scorsese has a new film coming out in October with De Niro and Pesci, and like it's gonna be like Goodfellas 2.0.
And then we got
If
the
it
Highway.
sucks like this, I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah, we got the Highwaymen that's coming out. That's
Yeah.
Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson like hunting down Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
Like just good flicks coming out. So I was super excited about it, and I'm a military movie nut, and
I
everything.
love this kind of movie. I love heist movies.
Yeah.
I love military movies.
And they're
I love them.
yeah. So it was this thing that they were gonna go. Oscar Isaac's character gets his old buddies together, and it's like, you know what, we've gone through a lot of stuff. Now it's time to get ours.
Paid, son.
But and Ben Affleck's character is kind of like he's the Murdoch, so to speak.
Yeah.
Of the 18, like he's the plan.
These are Affleck's angels.
But oh my gosh, that was amazing. But yeah, he was like the Murdoch of the crew, where he was the one that put the plan all together.
Yeah.
They get
And
into
unlike the A-Team, this plan does not
come together. They get into the house
Hijinks ensue.
and discover that the walls are lined.
Like, there's just stacks on stacks on stacks behind all the drywall in the house.
Yeah, there was way more money than they thought was going to be there, and this is where the movie takes kind of a twist as far as greed takes over.
Mm-hmm.
And if they would have just stuck to the plan, they're like, "Hey, we're going to steal this much. This is how much weight we can carry. This is what we can do." But
Like I've always said, man, it's hard to know what you're gonna do when you got that much actual cash money
right in front of you,
staring you in the face.
yeah.
But they should have stuck to the plan.
And they try and take
Way more,
and
things turn out badly.
yeah. People, and it was like no one's gonna get hurt. That changes.
False.
And characters, and good character development as far as like people start turning. They just not against each other, but
they're not turning, but they check out. They're like, and we're done.
yeah, they start to show their true colors.
Yeah.
But things start to kind of happen because of this greed and them trying to take as much money
Yeah.
as they are. I think we both said if they would have just stuck to the plan, been like, hey, grab
Would've been
some
all right.
couple duffel bags each, take what you can carry, and let's move along.
Yeah.
But it went
got greedy.
full Mission Impossible style of, big old cases hanging underneath a helicopter,
Yeah.
and bad things happen.
It was bad.
And people change. I was really,
And then the movie was bad.
yeah, but your favorite part,
I mean,
which is not,
we're not going to get into my favorite part for spoiler reason.
yeah,
Give me. You talk a little bit more. I'm going to check on one
Check it.
technical issue
check it.
before we go any further.
Yes.
But you just keep
on
rolling.
talking about it.
I'm gonna check on something. So stand by.
All right. Yeah, no, it's really, so as far as the cartel, and they're robbing the cartel, and they keep going, but they take so much money, and it shows the greediness of all the different characters, one in particular, and they're not able to escape, and their plan does not exactly go as planned. You're back. The plan doesn't go as planned.
I fixed it.
Yeah, thanks, man. Way to be on top of things.
Thanks international standards that only let us capture 30 minutes of video at a time.
Ah, there it is.
Fixed
Looking
it.
at you.
There might be a little bit of
A lull in that one.
a gap in that one, but
That's
the
all
audio
right.
will
stick
be
to
there.
it. We'll stick to it.
It'll be good.
But yeah, it was a good movie as far as the, if it would have just been like, hey, this is the plan, and they escape, it would have been like a 10
Well,
minute
then it
long
would have been
movie.
boring.
But and it was the problem is like if I would have written the movie, it would have been good, and it would have been completely different because I was waiting for the like Italian Job heist for the one that
I was
could
ready
change
for
the
this to
most.
be the Italian Job in the jungle.
Yeah, like I was waiting because in the Italian Job, the one team member flips the script and turns against the other people.
Yeah.
To take all of the money. So I was waiting for that moment.
I was waiting for Ben Affleck
Then-
to be Ben Affleck and rip everybody off.
Yeah, my thing was
He's a jerk.
This is
And the worst.
not going there. No, I think the one thing, and I made the reference to you because I think this is pre-rehab.
Yeah, he's a little.
And
Listen, far be it for me to comment on it, but
it was
Affleck
it was
looked a little-
noticeable.
He
It
looked
was
a little puffy.
it was very, very
Also looked like
noticeable.
he got a drinking problem.
And I was sitting there telling you, I was like, hey, remember Robert Downey Jr. in the Avengers? Like he was eating in almost every scene. Like he hid snacks around the thing. I think Ben Affleck did that with alcohol.
Yeah, dude was drinking a lot.
Like in every scene, he was
He was
drinking.
drinking with his kid in the car.
I noticed that one.
Not
I
cool, bro.
didn't like that. That was one of those things. I'm like, it's not real.
That was
It's
Ben
not
Affleck
real.
being Ben Affleck. The worst. Gives Dalen a run for his money. That's how bad
That was close.
Ben Affleck is.
Not close enough though. Yeah, but I mean,
He
he
got
was
close enough for me later in
yeah,
the
no,
movie.
yep.
Have to
So
watch to figure it out. Though.
but yeah, he's drinking in every single scene that I can think of. He's in the firefights, and surprised he was like
yeah, I was surprised that he like
that wasn't. I think he had like a camelback.
retrospect, yeah, he's got the camelback with
No,
like
But it was-
teenagers at a music festival.
listen, there's alcohol puffy. Like
Yeah.
you can know it, and you're just
he
like
doesn't look like Batfleck.
no, or does he's never going to be back to the town either.
No.
the town Ben Affleck. But
I mean, you keep bringing that up, and it's one of two like saving graces that the dude's got.
listen, I can sit here and go off on like he could play Jaws. I'm just saying that was a Kevin Smith joke.
Listen,
as far as that.
I think that Affleck has had some great roles.
Yeah.
I liked his minor characters in the Kevin Smith films.
Mm-hmm.
The Town.
I think that's why I'm so protective.
And I get it. And I'm willing to step
And
out
I think
of that.
you'd- well, no, but
love
I think-
the Kevin Smith franchises.
Like light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Because listen, everybody has reindeer games. Like that's hot garbage.
and Traffic.
And listen, there's a lot of garbage on that list.
Daredevil.
At the time, it was moving along. I was like, we're gonna go Marvel, and we're just
And
moving
everything
along.
he did with Jennifer Lopez.
No. You want to go rounds about Jersey Girl? That's a Kevin Smith movie, but I'm protective. She was in that for like 10 minutes. That was the best role she's ever had.
Yeah, it was.
By the way, she got her.
It brought him down and brought her up at the same time.
She got
It
her
was-
like 6th ring the other day.
Did she?
She's catching up to Thanos, man.
Oh.
Too soon. right.
Not soon enough.
But no, so I'm a fan of a lot of Ben Affleck movies. Not
Yeah.
all of them by any means. He was like the worst Jack Ryan, and that's saying a lot.
He was.
Yeah, just I mean, so keeping it in thing. But this movie, he would have been a really good bad guy in this movie.
He could have been. I was waiting for it.
Could have been a really
Like I
good
said,
bad guy.
I don't hate Ben Affleck as much as you think I hate Ben Affleck.
No, I know you don't. I think I'm just like I think we
I
just
just
hit
keep
on something
waiting
that
for
the
him
light bulb
to
might-
impress me again.
Yeah, I think it's just I think we hit on something, or I just realized I had a light bulb moment of I think Kevin Smith movies are so
Yeah.
that I'm like everybody involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just not the case,
It's
man.
just not. But yeah, no, I am a fan of not everything, but of quite a few. I mean,
Yeah.
I can count probably more that I was a fan of than not. I might have
100%.
been, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not like it's kind of like Nicolas Cage. He's made a lot of garbage,
Yeah.
but he's made a lot of good stuff too.
Like
Oh, we're not even doing this right now.
we'll,
We're not. This
we'll
is
have to
a
have a
whole other
whole
episode.
I think we should. I think we should have an entire Nicolas
Tucker
Cage
in the beard
episode.
in the cage.
Yeah, we should have an entire Nicolas Cage episode at some point, but this is not the day. and
This is not the time of the place. But
Anyway, listen, as far as our normal rating system, you can only stream it. So,
it's skip it or stream it.
yeah.
I think.
Listen, if you have nothing better to do and you've seen everything else that Netflix has to offer,
And you're-
just dying for something resembling entertainment, go ahead and stream it.
That's what I was gonna say. If you have some time to kill, and you're just like,
Yeah.
man, let me check this out, and you've
Otherwise-
watched all the other trending stuff on Netflix,
Yeah.
and you need to do it.
Otherwise, go back and binge watch 5 episodes of The Office instead.
Yeah, you can
Go
do
back
all the
and
seasons.
I'm just saying for this 2 hours that that you'll never get back.
Yeah.
it's non-refundable.
It's not coming back.
You can do one of two things, and if you just can't stand the thought of watching Michael Scott for 5 more episodes, first of all, shame on you, but go ahead and watch this.
Yeah, listen, it was,
I'm actually recommending that you skip it.
yeah, and I'm gonna say stream it, but that's only under the thing of just like, hey,
Your time is
you
better
need to-
spent
just
on YouTube.
just to prove us right or wrong. Just,
Yeah.
I mean,
Chime in.
stream it. It's
You know,
free.
Yeah, if you already got a subscription, you might as well watch it. But
Yeah.
I would have been happier had I watched cooking videos on YouTube.
Well, I think my thing that I told you that it was like, if I would have watched that in the theater,
I would have been pissed.
I would have been way pissed. But the
Yeah.
fact that I was like, all right, I didn't really.
Yeah,
didn't really spend anything
the
to
saving
watch it.
grace of this movie is that I was able to check my phone while I was watching it because I
Yeah.
couldn't care less about this movie.
Yeah. It was one of those. I think it had a message behind it, but it was, I think what I told you, it was like they made a movie that they were going to put in the theater because they got some big name actors and they just ran out of their budget.
And then they
And
tried
just
to sell it, and they're like, "Oh, never mind." And then to Netflix it went. And Netflix, you're better than that, and I know you're better than that because series-wise, the original content that Netflix has been able to procure has been killer, but they haven't made a ton of great feature-length films yet.
Yeah. My wife had.
So I
yeah.
think they're still spreading their wings a little bit.
They're still learning, but I think
Yeah.
the way I went about it, like my wife, she watched it from beginning to end like I did, and she goes, I feel like I came into this movie 10 minutes late. Like I feel like I'm missing
Yeah,
parts
it
of the
just
story.
wasn't
So it was like a cake that just, it wasn't finished. It was the food that
cake
wasn't,
and frosting.
yeah, just, it wasn't finished.
Yeah,
And I think
it's
instead
like
of,
an omelet with no cheese.
I just pictured this whole backstory of the filmmakers being like, listen, we could either spend $1 million to like clean this up,
Or we can just
kick
dump
it
it
over
on
to
Netflix.
We can
and
just
make
kick
people
it out
think
to
they're
Netflix.
about to watch a decent movie, and then it's a steaming pile of crap.
Right, and I just feel like it wasn't done, and instead of filling the holes and completing it, they just were like, let's kick this out and see what happens.
It was very EW.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
stream it if you're bored.
yeah, and you've run out of YouTube to watch.
Yeah.
So
Anything else? So, anyways,
that's it.
wrapping it up.
Yeah, we're doing a cruising episode tomorrow, so
We are. It's
tune
gonna be
into
awesome.
Our channel.
Yes.
Tucker, ampersand, the beard. And yeah, we'll check it out.
Stay tuned.
And until next time, he's Tucker.
He's Beard.
Peace.
All right.